Alex Eala just won a tennis match. That sentence alone is not news anymore. Alex Eala wins tennis matches all the time now. She has been winning them against world number 2 players, against world number 8 players, in semifinals of WTA 500 events, in tournament finals on grass courts in Europe. Winning is no longer the surprise. Winning has become the expectation. But this one was different, because standing beside her, on her side of the net, was Venus Williams. Let that sit for a moment. Venus Williams, 46 years old, 7 Grand Slam singles titles, 14 Grand Slam doubles titles, 5 Wimbledon singles championships. A player who did not just dominate women's tennis, she redefined what the sport could look like, who it could belong to, and what was possible for every woman who came after her. She fought for equal prize money at Grand Slams and won that fight. She played through eras that were harder, carried the weight of being a pioneer, and built a legacy that stretched far beyond any trophy or ranking number. She changed the sport. And she is still here, still competing, still walking onto courts at 46 years old and reminding people why she matters. And tonight, in Bad Homburg, Germany, Venus Williams and Alex Eala shared a court as doubles partners for the very first time in their careers. And they won. Eala and Williams defeated Catherine Harrison of the United States and Alexandra Osborne of Australia in the round of 16 of the WTA 500 Bad Homburg Open doubles draw. Scoreline 6-3, 6-4. Time on court 1 hour and 10 minutes. Result quarterfinals. But the scoreline doesn't tell you the full story of what happened out there. So let me tell you the story. From the very opening game, Eala and Williams looked like they had been playing together for years. That is not something you can assume or guarantee. Doubles is one of the most instinct-driven disciplines in all of tennis. It demands that you read your partner without talking, knowing when to poach a ball your partner left, when to hold your position, when to be aggressive at the net, and when to give ground. 2 players who have never stood on the same side of a net before will often look hesitant in the early games. Clunky, out of rhythm. They need time to trust each other. Eala and Williams needed about 15 minutes to look completely comfortable together, maybe less. They raced to a 4-0 lead in the first set, 4 straight games before Harrison and Osborne managed to get on the scoreboard. Eala and Williams were sharp, aggressive, and completely locked in. Every movement looked coordinated. Every point looked intentional. The first set closed 6-3, and it was not even as close as that score suggests. They were controlling rallies, owning the net, and making their opponents feel like they were playing uphill from the opening exchange. Then came the second set, and everything changed. Harrison and Osborne did not travel to Bad Homburg to lose politely and go home. They came back in the second set with a completely different gear, reading patterns, pushing deeper, forcing Eala and Williams into errors they hadn't made in the first set. They broke serve. They went ahead 3-2. Suddenly, the match had a new story, and the packed crowd that had been celebrating this partnership went quiet. At 3-2 down, this is where you find out what a doubles partnership is actually made of. 2 players who are new to each other, competing under pressure for the first time together, can start to unravel. Body language tightens. The communication breaks down. You start looking at your partner for answers instead of playing tennis. Eala and Williams did none of that. They responded immediately, back-to-back games. Then, their first break of the second set, 4-3. The lead was back. The crowd lifted again. Harrison and Osborne came back one more time. They broke to level it at 4-4. The set was fully alive. This was a real fight now. Not the comfortable cruise of the first set, but 2 teams competing hard for every single point. The crowd could feel it. And Eala and Williams won the fight. Game 9 held. And then Venus Williams stepped up to serve out the match at 5-4. She had the ball in her hand, the match on the line, and the crowd watching. She did not hesitate. She closed it out, 6-4. The WTA posted the moment on social media within minutes, with the caption, "Cue the twirl," because that is exactly the energy these 2 brought to every minute of this match. Not cold, not clinical, not just going through the motions of a warm-up event before a Grand Slam. Joyful, alive, competing like it mattered, because it did. Alex Eala is 21 years old. She has spoken openly about Venus Williams as a childhood idol, one of the players she grew up watching, one of the reasons she believed that tennis was a world she could enter and eventually belong in. Venus Williams is part of the reason that a young girl from the Philippines could look at a professional tennis court and imagine herself playing on it one day. And tonight, that idol was standing on her side of the net, as her partner, celebrating the same win, fist pumping after the same points. That is not something that happens to most people who pick up a racket and dream about making it as a professional tennis player. That is something that happens to Alex Eala. In the week before, she becomes the first Filipino ever seeded at a Grand Slam. The timing of all of this matters. This doubles match did not happen in a vacuum. Earlier this week, Eala lost in the singles draw at Bad Homburg, beaten 6-3, 6-3 by Belgium's Elise Mertens, ranked world number 26. Mertens was sharper, better rested, and won 81.5% of her first serve points. The match was not close. Eala was coming in carrying the physical and mental load of a Berlin week, where she reached the semifinals as a wild card, after beating both the world number 2 and the world number 8 back-to-back in the same tournament. She lost that singles match, and then she came back. She did not disappear. She did not take the rest of the week off and coast into Wimbledon on the momentum of Berlin. She walked back onto a court in the same tournament, this time with Venus Williams beside her, and she competed. She won, in front of a crowd, on the same day. That is what we mean when we say Alex Eala has become a different kind of player this year. It is not just the ranking. It is not just the wins over top 10 players. It is this, the ability to absorb a loss, find a partner, switch formats completely, and come out on the other side with a win. Same tournament, same week, no time to feel sorry for herself. Eala and Williams now face the number 2 seeds in the quarterfinals, Slovakia's Teresa Mihalikova and Great Britain's Olivia Nichols, both ranked world number 29 in doubles. Mihalikova and Nichols won their own first-round match 6-2, 6-3, dominant, efficient, looking every bit like the second seeds they are. This is a step up, a real one. Eala and Williams will play them anyway, and nothing about the way they performed tonight suggests they plan to go quietly. There is one more piece of this story worth adding. After Bad Homburg wraps up, Venus Williams heads to Wimbledon, where she will partner with her sister Serena Williams in the doubles draw. Serena has announced her return to professional tennis after years away from the tour. The Williams sisters together on a Wimbledon doubles court. That is already one of the most emotional and talked about storylines of the entire grass season. But before any of that, before the reunion with Serena, before center court, before the biggest stage in the sport, Venus Williams chose to come to Bad Homburg this week and play doubles with a 21-year-old from the Philippines who once watched her on television and imagined what it might feel like to be that good. Tonight she found out. Alex Eala walks into Wimbledon in 5 days as the number 29 seed, the first Filipino ever seeded at a Grand Slam. She arrives having won 9 matches on grass this season, having beaten 2 top 10 players in the same week in Berlin, having claimed her first professional grass court title in Birmingham, and having just won a doubles match alongside one of the greatest players in the sport's history. She is not going to Wimbledon to participate, she is going to compete.